What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Breakdown Sportscast. I'm your good friend and host, Kory Willis. Hope you guys are doing well on a Halloween Friday. Hanging out with your friends, family, probably going to some parties, eating some good food, eating some candy. But don't eat too much candy out there. So, overall, guys, I hope you all are doing well. Um, Overall, on a Friday, getting ready for week 10 of the college football season. So, yeah. As always, guys, we appreciate you guys listening to the show. You know where to find us. We're on pretty much everything. We're on X. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok at BD Sportscast. You can find all of our content there. If you want to listen to past and present episodes of the Breakdown Sportscast, you can listen to us on a bevy of podcast applications out there, wherever it is, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, you name it, we are on there. And also, if you listen to the podcast on our Sunday live streams, of course, we're here live on our official YouTube channel, and um, we also live stream on our official Twitch channel as well at Breakdown Video Game Cast, where Chris and I play some video games from time to time. So we appreciate you guys. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Hype the videos, of course. All of that great stuff. Let your friends, family know who we are. Know that the Breakdown Sportscast is here to bring you great content in the world of college football. And yeah, help us as well as we are trying to level up and get to 100 subscribers. And if we can get to 100 subscribers, guys, we will put your name in a raffle for a potential free swag, courtesy from Chris and myself. So thank you guys for all you do with the show. So if you can do that, you can get some swag in your favorite team colors. And so we can't wait for you guys to help us out, get us to that. That way we can hook you guys up with some free swag, of course. So overall, we appreciate you guys' support. As always, you know who I'm with, guys. I'm with I'm with my main man every week. He is Chris Bolton. Chris, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, Kory? Feeling good, ready for week 10. It's gonna be a definitely another fun week. There's some sleeper matchups. It's not a week with a lot of high profile games, I would say. But when it's when we have weekends like this, there is always trouble brewing, upsets brewing. So it's not a matter of um, who will be upset. It's a matter of how many. I think it should be a good bit of them this weekend. With the kind of season we've had.
No, I will see it, Chris. Kofi Kingston has a great finishing move. I know Kofi Kingston isn't, at the top tier list of talent in the WWE now, but it's called Trouble in Paradise. It's week 10, Chris. I know the schedule doesn't look that sexy, but it could be trouble in paradise for some teams.
It could be. It could be. We'll definitely get into some of the matchups. Just I will throw one out there real quick, just for us to touch on real quick.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't seem like it, Ohio State, Penn State. It was a game that we had circled in the preseason. Nobody's really checking for it right now, but hey, you know, we'll see if Penn State got one last hoorah left in them. If there's a game to get fired up for, Kory, this is the one.
Can you imagine James Franklin is at home and it's
Lord.
like halftime and he sees that Penn State is up over Ohio State like 17-10. He's just gonna be like ready to blow a head gasket.
He gonna be hating. He gonna be like, they ain't gonna finish though. They not. Hey, at least I'd be hating. Like Ohio State gonna come back. They ain't gonna win it. They ain't gonna win it.
Oh man, he's just gonna be on Twitter all day. Like he's just gonna be mad disrespectful. The tweets
Yeah,
are
yeah,
just gonna
yeah.
keep hitting you.
His burner account finna go crazy. I know he gotta have one.
Look, all that time now, I'm definitely sure he has a couple burner accounts.
Oh.
Oh man, but yeah, man, a great week of games, of course, Chris. Um, we don't have to delve in it too long, but
Mhm.
I am interested in hearing your take about just the last couple of days of
Huh.
hearing about Brian Kelly being ousted at LSU, and
Yeah.
hearing the words of the LSU, of the Louisiana governor,
Governor?
Chris.
Yeah, yeah.
Taking over. We taking over one school at a time. Like,
Oh man, hey, this LSU football head coaching search, Kory, the gift that keeps on giving every day. We got some news coming out about this, man. This is some Louisiana mess. To I almost says the other word. Well, I'm trying to keep it clean for the kids. Um,
trying to keep it
but
PG.
this is as Louisiana as it gets, Kory. Oh my goodness, the governor getting involved, and now they parting ways with the AD. Did you see that? That happened tonight.
Yeah, yeah. I was looking at UTSA and Tulane go head to head, and yeah, during the halftime they had mentioned that Scott Woodward, it looks to be on his way out. I mean, not surprising knowing what the last 24 to 48 hours
Yeah,
has been. It's been a lot.
yeah. It's tough when you the AD, and then the state of Louisiana doesn't trust you to, to hire the next head football coach for Louisiana State University. Um, this is incredible though. Coach Orgeron has said, "Hey, I'd like to be the head coach of Louisiana State again." You know, he done threw his name back in the hat. Try to
Retires.
see it. Oh my goodness. Um, we'll see how this plays out though. This is some wild stuff, but they gotta hit it. They gotta hit a home run with this one, Kory. Um, this is as important of a hire as it gets. You know, every coach leading up to Brian Kelly, the last three head coaches, um, whether it was Nick Saban after Nick, was it Les Miles after Nick?
Yeah.
Les Miles, Les was there for a long time, and then I want to say Coach O was after Les. If I'm not
Mm-hmm.
mistaken, Coach O
Yep.
won that game against A&M, and then they say, you know what, we'll make you head coach. Those guys have all won a national championship.
Mm-hmm.
Then you bring in Brian Kelly, and he doesn't. So you got to get back to getting a coach who can at least win you one. And I think if they make the right hire, the resources are there. It should happen, but they just got to get the right guy.
Yeah, yeah, they definitely have to get the right guy. I'm sure Lane, for as much as Lane's been trying to put on and say hey he loves being at Ole Miss. I'm sure his phone has been blowing up astronomically since the
Or
word of
or
Brian
his or
Kelly's
his
firing.
agents at
Yeah,
least.
yeah. I'm definitely sure. That the phone has been buzzing in terms of getting the fillers out on how the way he's looking at this job right now and getting things kind of in place in the background. Yeah, I mean LSU, for all that's going on right now, you take that away, it is still a destination job, big time football program. Those people in Louisiana love their LSU Tigers. Hell, I mean, us being Mississippi kids, if you go further down south, Mississippi, and those people they love LSU. Oh, they don't play about their Tigers as well. I mean, it is a huge brand down that way in Louisiana specifically, and yeah, they want to win. They want to compete for national championships, and they want someone more specifically, Chris, that wants to be there and loves Louisiana. They gotta get
Yeah.
that guy, whoever that is.
If I'm them, I'm hollering at Clark Lee's agent. I'm talking to Brent Key's agent. I feel like those guys are, in my eyes, those are perfect hires. I mean, I could see both of those guys being great at LSU and come mess around, man. You get Clark Lee, those resources, he might turn LSU into Bama. He could mess around and I ain't gonna say he's gonna become the GOAT like a Nick Saban, but it could be diet Nick Saban. It could be kind of like what could have been if Nick didn't leave LSU. Getting a guy like Clark Lee, I see that kind of potential in what he brings to the table as a head coach. Just what he's doing this year and even last season with Vanderbilt. I mean, he really has this thing rolling, and I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. Honestly, no matter wherever he's coaching at, I feel like he'll be a success. So we'll see. I know everybody brings up Lane Kiffin. I just feel like those guys are gems that if you really know ball, I think they would be home run A+ hires. And I don't know. We'll see if their name gets brought up some more, but I think those two guys especially are, you know, home run hits. Um, and when it comes to head coaching selections.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're right, Chris. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. But man, hey, in terms of Clark Lee, yeah, I think what he's done in this last couple of years at Vanderbilt has been tremendous work. I know Vandy is his alma mater. Will he be willing to leave his alma mater for a place like LSU? I
It's
mean,
tough.
it's tough. He definitely has the resources in Nashville right now, just by sticking at Vandy if he wants to. Who knows? Maybe something's working in the background, but hey, man, the sky's the limit for what Clark Lee has done in terms of his
Yeah.
career going forward. Um, Definitely the sky's the limit because he's definitely proved himself as a really good motivator in college football.
It'd be hard to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, man, did I really turn down the LSU job? But you can only do what makes you happy. And
Yeah.
if he's happy in Vandy, and I'm sure he is the king. He ain't paid for a meal yet all season. Everybody makes sure Coach eats good when he comes to their restaurant. So we'll see what he does ultimately. But I think he's on the short list. I'll say that much.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree, Chris. So yeah, man, we'll see. We'll see what the finalists are for for the head coaching vacancy there in Baton Rouge. So yeah, man. But yeah, man, I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on that. A lot of crazy stuff going on. We'll keep you guys posted
And
on
more
any.
crazy to come.
Right.
Because it's Louisiana.
It's Louisiana. Look, the hits are gonna keep on hitting. So I think we're just getting started with what's going on down there um in the bayou.
Mhm.
so so yeah, Chris. That's that. Now, are you all ready to go over some of the big games in Week 10 of the college football season this weekend?
Yes, sir.
All right, all right. Well, folks, Week 10 is upon us. We got some great games out there. We'll go ahead and start off with this one, Chris. A game in Austin, Texas, taking on Vanderbilt. The line right now has Texas as a 3.5 point favorite. The over under is at 46.5 right now. This is an interesting ball game, knowing how Texas squeezed out that overtime game in Stark Vegas against
Hmm.
Mississippi State. They don't looks like Arch Manning isn't going to play in this game, although he has come back this week to practice here and there. I don't think he's 100% at all, Chris, in terms of
Hmm.
playing this Saturday. But well, who knows? We'll see what happens. Um, they're taking on a Vanderbilt team that's hey, this team is riding high right now. They took care of business against LSU, and this team right now is motivated. They're in the top 10 right now, Chris. Look, Diego Pavia, when he's clicking on all cylinders, when this offense is clicking, they can hurt you. So it's going to be interesting to see what this Vanderbilt offense can cook up against this Texas defense that is still very, very talented. But
Hmm.
it's going to be interesting to see what Vanderbilt can do um, through the air, because you got a guy like Tav who he might be a game time decision. Michael Tav, that's been very productive at the safety position. You got some young guys that have been playing out there in the perimeter at corner. Um, if you're Vanderbilt, do you want to test those guys? I'm sure you do. Mississippi State did last week, and just still fell short. But you being Vanderbilt, been playing hard all season. What can you do to capitalize off that and take advantage of challenging those young corners out there and safeties in this ball game? So all of that is going to be a great storyline. I think it already is a great storyline overall, Chris. I'm interested to get your take about this game. Who wins, how, and why?
Man, despite Texas having its struggles on the road in Starkville against the Bulldogs, there's something just. I have a feeling that with Arch Manning being out coincidentally, we might see improvement out of this Texas offense this week. We might see a much cleaner brand of football played by Texas and this O line. Maybe they will, step up because Arch is young, but a lot of times it's weird, Kory. We've seen this in college football. The the backup QB can pose threats that because there's a lack of film, you don't really know the skill set the backup truly brings to the table. There could be a slight improvement, a lift to this team's play this week. And I think we might see that from Texas early on. And if that is the case, that makes for a very interesting game if Texas can get ahead early. I think this game for the Longhorns honestly does hinge on them getting ahead early and really putting pressure on Diego Pavia to feel like he has to make plays. Diego Pavia, as much as we love him, he has a little. It's gonna be a little bit of a throwback, but if you know, you know. He got a little bit of Bo Wallace to him, Kory. Just a little bit. There's some good Diego, good Bo, bad Bo to his game. he, when he's rolling, Diego Pavia is a bad boy, just like Bo Wallace was. Um, but sometimes he makes some boneheaded plays. And we're going to put him in DKR against a talented Texas team. There's the opportunity for him to feel like he has to do too much. And I feel like it's going to be big for Texas early on this game to get ahead and make Pavia feel like he needs to make a play. They can do that. Texas can very easily win this game. If Vanderbilt can keep that from happening and play their style of game where they are the one leading in the dance, They have the lead. They dictate the flow of this game. I see Vanderbilt winning if that is the case. My official prediction, Kory, I've been going back and forth all week because I'm not big on this Texas team at all. I'm really not. You know how I feel about Texas this year. But this is a very talented bunch. I'm going to side with Vanderbilt. I think Diego Pavia being experienced, having the mistakes made against Alabama, learning from that ball game. I think he makes the right plays in this one. And ultimately, they turn into him making a play without him trying to make a play. I see Vanderbilt getting ahead early and controlling this ball game, running the football, putting the pressure on Texas to have to make a play. I see Vanderbilt ultimately winning 30 to 20. I see it being a 10-point win for the Commodores. Won't necessarily be easy, and there is a lot of variance for Texas to win this game. I'm not going to throw that out the equation. I feel like Texas has a really good chance of winning this one. But based on what we've seen all season long, Kory, I'm going to side with the team that I trust more. And I trust Vanderbilt more than I trust Texas at this moment. So I'm a ride with Clark Lee and the Commodores.
Great choice, Pete. Great choice, Chris. Yeah, I've been thinking about this game all week, Chris. Vanderbilt, they've been playing very well all season. I mean, one could argue they had Alabama on the ropes at one point, and they just couldn't squeeze out of that game with the dub. But overall, they persevered. They've been persevering this season. This is a good Vanderbilt team. Not having Arch Manning out there and having true freshman Matthew Caldwell out there, it it kind of bodes well in Vandy's favor. You got a true freshman quarterback out there that, yeah, granted, yeah, he threw that overtime, um, back shoulder pass to win the game, but you're in a situation where you have to manage a full game this time, not come in for cleanup. It's still a pivotal time, but this this is a full 60-minute game against a team that's willing to fight.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to respond for 60 minutes in a game like this against a quarterback that clearly he doesn't mind going tick for tat with you if the stars align? I think Clark Lee, Diego Pavia, I think they expect that. They're ready to go in to DKR this weekend and try to steal one. And I think they could possibly do it. And we're talking about just their offense. Their defense has been playing very well this season too. They got some dogs out there. So
Mm-hmm.
I think they're willing to make this into a fight if allowed. If I had to call it, Chris, I gotta say I think Vandy wins this game. I think it's going to be by a very close margin, but I do think Vandy will win this ball game. I'm going to say Vanderbilt wins 24-17. Late game touchdown run by Diego Pavia. He's probably going to have to fight for it in a pile somehow. Wins them the ball game. And Vanderbilt shocks the nation by getting the dub at Austin. That will be a headliner for the weekend.
Yeah, it's a signature win. That's a big win.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm with you. I can see that definitely taking place. Um, I do also have to kind of put give Texas some credit and say that they can very well win this game. Of course they're the favorites. You know, by Vegas. So we know that they can win this one. But I can't stress enough how much of a lift maybe having the backup does. Archie's had his struggles this season, and there's a there is the slight chance that we have yet to see this team's peak, and maybe the backup raises the team's ceiling. There is that possibility. So I just want to throw that out there, making sure we cover all bases when it comes to this matchup. We might see Texas play its best ball this season, this year, Kory. As crazy as that might sound, there is a world where Texas really opens this thing up, and we are shocked by how Vanderbilt gets handled by the Longhorns. So I just want to say that, throw that possibility out there. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but there is that chance.
If that happens, it's gonna get real interesting in Austin. Because when Arch comes back, man,
he might be coming back to wearing the headset if that's the case.
Hey,
I'm just saying, because that means Texas low-key still has a chance to make the playoffs. They got what, 3 losses? Or 2?
2. Yeah.
Hey, that's all I'm saying. Hey, 2-loss Texas. Hey, that you ain't lying, boy. I'm gonna have to listen to some Austin Talk Sports Radio if Texas come out here and put the beats on Vanderbilt with the backup.
Look, at that point, you gonna hear a lot of commentary, and the commentary ain't gonna be too favorable for Arch Manning at that point. That's all I gotta say. Look, if that happens, man, that's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be crazy. And look, that might be the way to get Lane Kiffin, Chris, to try to muscle for a little bit more money and say, hey, wherever it takes, let's do this again with a Manning. It's not gonna happen because you got Trinidad Chambers, but
hey, oh my goodness. Yeah, no, that will be something if that is the case. But I just this is a very intriguing matchup.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see this first quarter, because I think this first quarter will tell us everything we need to know about this game.
Indeed. I think this is going to be a barn burner of a matchup. And the great thing, Chris, we get to wake up on Saturday morning, 11 a.m. kickoff. This game starts. I love it.
We find out early. Yeah, first thing in the morning, we get to find out how it's about to go down.
I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. So, yeah, man, it's gonna be an interesting ball game. I can't wait for us to talk about it on our Sunday live show. It should be a fun one to discuss.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, man. Anything else you want to add to this game, Chris, before we move on to our next game?
We can keep it rolling.
All right. Moving along, Chris, we got an interesting ball game, and not too far away, up north, your way. The cocktail party in Jacksonville. We got Florida taking on Georgia. The line right now has Georgia as a 7.5 point favorite. The over under has the over under is at 50.5 in this ball game. So, and this is another game, Chris, I've been kind of thinking about mainly today before we started recording. Who's going to have the edge? We know at this point we know how Georgia has been playing this season. This isn't a scary Georgia team by any stretch of the imagination. They've squeaked by some games this season, quite a bit of games. Had that stinker of a game against Alabama where they really got exposed in that one, but for the most part, they've just been squeaking by barely in games. And at some point, the dam got to break. put a pulse to it, Chris. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
the dam will break just yet. I do think this Georgia team will be motivated enough to play Florida because I think they expect Florida to be motivated enough to play them. They don't have
Mm-hmm.
a head coach anymore, but hey, that might be a little sigh of relief for now, as they get ready for a head coaching search. Um, this team, I think this Florida team is going to be motivated to come out to try to win this ball game. Will they win? I don't think so. I think Georgia will kind of bold a little bit too bold to be a little bit too much for the Gators in the end. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if I had to put a score behind it, I'm gonna go ahead and say I think Georgia runs away with this game, 38-28.
Okay.
It's gonna be a little closer, but I think they'll kind of run away with it and separate themselves in the fourth quarter to win this ball game. But it's just gonna be a little bit more of the same that I've been seeing from Georgia. So I'm interested to get your take in this game, Chris. I know you probably been hearing a lot of people in the Florida area talk about this game
Yeah.
as the
Yeah.
days have progressed. So what
Yes,
are your
sir.
thoughts?
You know, being a Georgia fan, um, every time this game comes across the schedule, every year, every season, doesn't matter what kind of team Georgia has, doesn't matter what kind of team Florida has, I just get a weird feeling. Last season, everybody and their mama just knew Georgia was finna put the beats on Florida. And we were a DJ Lagway hammy away from that game being a classic. That was about to be a classic. Like Florida really had Georgia on the ropes before DJ left the game with an injury. Um, both teams kind of still have having similar problems to what they had last season. Of course, Florida head coach is fired now because of those same problems that they were having. Uh, Georgia is a good team, but this isn't your early 2020s dominant kind of Georgia ball team, ball club. Um, I think this is going to be a barn burner. I think Florida's going to come in ready to play some ball. I think we'll see some things offensively coming out of the bye week that we haven't seen all season from Florida. I think Florida will put an emphasis on the running game. I think Ball they're going to feed him the football. I think Florida will try to work the vertical play action game. And if that's the case, and if you can take advantage of a Georgia secondary that's had its lapses by setting up the pass, I think Florida can have some success on the outside, especially with the athletes and receivers they have. This can be a very interesting game. I'm going to side with Georgia, but I think it's gonna take everything out of Georgia to win this one. This won't be easy, and Georgia will come ready to play. I just think Florida, with just some minor improvements with this offensive play calling and the talent this team has on offense and defense, they're just a few cleanups away. Play a little more disciplined defensively, have some better play calling offensively. You tweak those things, this team can play with anybody when you look at its roster. And then you throw in the fact that it's a rivalry game too, Kory. I think Georgia's going to go tooth and nail with Florida. I think the Bulldogs win 31-30. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be rough. I think Georgia has to kick a game-winning field goal going at the buzzer to win this one. I think we're going to see Georgia have to handle some adversity again. And we do know with Gunnar Stockton, he can handle said adversity. So I think he'll be ready for the moment to drive his team down the field and get the game winner. But I think he will have his struggles. This Georgia team will have its struggles. I don't think Georgia will be able to run the football as well as a Kirby Smart coach team wants to. And I think Florida will have more success running the ball than Kirby Smart would like to see. And you put those things together, I think it makes for a very entertaining and a classic Florida Georgia cocktail party.
Well said, Chris. Look, if Georgia goes out there and they struggle to run the football, it's funny because I was listening to Josh Pate talk about this, and he kind of hinted at, if Georgia goes out there struggling to run the football, it could get interesting. But if they succeed at doing it, it could still get interesting. Maybe not for Florida's sake. Um, but but yeah, in terms of that, Chris, I think this game is going to live by the running attack by both teams. In order for you to kind of set yourself up in position to be a successful offense in this game, is going to depend heavily on running the football. I think Florida has a little bit more of the upper hand in in running the football than Georgia. We've
Mm-hmm.
seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I, I I like Florida's rushing attack more than I like Georgia's rushing attack, and I think that's what's going to be the calling card in this game. So, look, you let Jaden Bowe run run downfield on you. It's gonna be tough. It's definitely gonna be tough.
He's been finding his stride the last few weeks too.
Yeah.
Florida's been feeding him.
Yes, they have. They have. Um, so yeah, I think if all else fails, Jaden Bowe has been a stud for Florida. If he can get some runs in, that can be very successful for Florida, I'd say everything else will open up for Florida
Yeah,
in terms of their offense.
You'll then see Dallas Wilson be able to, you know what I'm saying, be able to make some plays. And
Yeah.
we know what kind of playmaker he is.
Right. So I'm definitely going to say that Florida has that to hang their hat on in this ball game. For Georgia, yeah, they've been trying to run the football, but they just really haven't been successful, mainly because their offensive line is putrid, Chris. Like in Georgia standards, the offensive line has not been at the level of a Georgia offensive line we've seen in past seasons when they were clicking on all cylinders. They're they're not blocking very well. If you flip it on the defensive side of the football for Georgia, they're not even pressuring people very well. This this team isn't really doing a lot of things that they hung their hat on and being successful very well this year. I don't know what's the issue this year. Maybe they just don't have like the right guys um, to run the personnel that they want to, but they're still, lucking out on getting some wins when they need to. And I think that's just hey, it's
That's
just
a
Kirby
testament to
Smart.
Kirby.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's just Kirby Smart at the end of the day. He's gonna find ways to get these guys in position to squeeze out of games with a victory, even though they may not need to, or they might. We might think that they can't just by what we've seen this season. I should say so. Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting Georgia Florida game because both teams have pretty much the similar issues that they had last season. So,
Mm-hmm. And
yeah.
I think how the season has played out so far with the games Georgia has won, and just how even when Georgia is struggling, having a down year, how this team has performed the last this season and last season,
Mm-hmm.
it's a true testament to Kirby Smart. Like as a Georgia fan, I know I know how it can be. I mean, I love Mark Richt. You know, that's my guy. I got a lot of love in my heart for Mark Richt. But the floor with Mark Richt and the floor with Kirby Smart, two different floors. Mark Richt he'll have a 75, 8-4 season in there. You know what I'm saying? He definitely had his fair share of some 7-5s. You're like, oh, Mark, like, come on, baby, like, what we doing? It seemed like with Kirby gonna find a way to get you a couple of them. You ain't got no business winning. You know what I'm saying? Like Kirby's just a floor raiser with how meticulous he is about this and just the kind of coach he is. And then you mess around and give Kirby the team, and he'll take you home. You give Mark Richt the team, and you sitting there like, man, we need a little more just a little more juice out the squeeze. Like it was still some meat on the bone, Mark. We got No Sean and Matthew Stafford and Muhammad Massaquoi. What's going on, baby? We supposed to be doing the damn thing. But hey, that's how it is sometimes. But yeah, I just want to give, and I love Mark, but I just want to give Kirby his flowers because this is clearly not the best Georgia team, but they're winning. And that's like you said, that's just coaching. That's shout out to Kirby Smart.
Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely a testament to how Kirby has constructed his teams each and every season to grind out in these games. And look, this could be we've been
This could
talking
be a
about all
grinder.
of this could be a grinder. We've talked about all of their deficiencies at Georgia. This could still be a grind out game that Kirby Smart finds a way to get the most out of his team to walk out of Jacksonville with the W in the end. So it's a testament, like you said, Chris, to um, how he prepares his team each and every week, and even when they're going through adversity. Yeah, I should say that. And when they're going through adversity, he finds a way to get these guys to dig deep in however way they can to win these games. Games that
He's even
sometimes they
killed,
shouldn't win.
man.
Yeah.
He's cool, calm, and collected. You don't see Kirby cutting up on the sidelines. He just stays unfazed.
Outside of that time when he said he was clapping instead of call a timeout.
See, that wasn't against the team. He was trying to finesse the refs. But when it comes to the team, he be keeping it cool.
I know. I see you, Curry Smart. I see you. I see you.
Oh
you
man.
you can't pull the wool over my eyes, okay?
You might get the SEC officials, but you can't get Kory.
Right. So yeah, man. But overall, I think this is going to be a fun game. Probably one of the more fun Florida Georgia games in quite some time.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, man. Anything else, Chris? You want to mention about this game before we move on to our next game?
I'm good.
All right. All right. Now, we'll stick in the SEC, Chris, a little bit longer. We have a game between Oklahoma and Tennessee. Gonna be in Rocky Top in this one. The line right now has Tennessee as a 2.5 point favorite. Over under is at 55.5, Chris. So, yeah, Tennessee. Last couple weeks, Chris. I'll say it started after the Mississippi State game. I think it's safe to say.
Mm-hmm.
I think the country started really asking themselves, how good is this Tennessee team? Are they really,
Mm-hmm.
really good, or are they just okay? We don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Can't really gauge them.
Yeah, yeah.
I think this 2.5 line, Chris, speaks volumes into what I just said. I think if you ask Vegas, I think if you ask anyone at ESPN, I think if you just ask like other coaches from around the league, I think they would say Tennessee is not a bad team at all. But Tennessee is definitely not like this world beater right now. I think they're definitely beatable. They're definitely
Mm-hmm.
human.
Mm-hmm.
I think Joey Aguilar and company wanted to kind of make you feel like they were above human in the first like 3 to 4 games of the football season, but since then, Tennessee isn't really um, they're not the Ohio State of
Mm-hmm.
the SEC, by a country mile for sure. But um, yeah, they're just kind of hanging on, Chris, just waiting
They're
for
gonna win.
calamity to strike.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So overall, what were your thoughts about Tennessee, and what are your thoughts about them heading into this game against Oklahoma this weekend?
Yeah, man. I know Tennessee is a good team. They're not no world beaters by any chance of the imagination. It's a team that definitely has just been winning. They haven't looked great, but they just been winning. Um, but Kory, I will say this: I almost put them on, our next segment, Bolton's bets.
You were this close.
I was real close. I was this close, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you how I see this matchup playing out. I have not been impressed by Oklahoma over the last few weeks.
Me.
I have I have a lot of questions about Oklahoma. I know the defense is talented. I know they got some guys on the offense. John Mateer is a good quarterback, but he has regressed a lot since coming back from the injury. This is a big game for Josh Heupel. Welcoming Oklahoma, his old stomping grounds, down to Rocky Top. I think we're going to see the best Tennessee we've seen all season, Kory.
With
I
that
think they
being
have.
said,
I think they're about to lock in. I think it's about to be bombs away. And if Oklahoma comes out here, play pimping, playing the way they've been playing the last few weeks, they gonna get sent out of Rocky Top with a well whooped ass. I think Tennessee is about to put it on Oklahoma. I know we talked about Tennessee. How good are they? I don't know if this game is going to just tell us how good Tennessee is. I think it's just going to more so tell us that Oklahoma isn't who we thought they were, or isn't the team that they were earlier in the season. This feels like a different Oklahoma team. The beginning of the Oklahoma team was a top 8 team in the nation. This Oklahoma team feels like a top 38 team in the nation. This isn't the same Oklahoma team, Kory. And I think they are going to get beat pretty bad in this one. I think Tennessee puts it all together and we'll get some Joey Aguilar bombs downfield, especially after the running game gets established in this veer and shoot offense. I see Tennessee putting up a Texas A&M LSU kind of performance. I think the Vols win this sucker 45, 45-10, 45-14. I think it gets bad, honestly.
so what you're saying, Chris? You saying belt to ass to Oklahoma
Yeah,
this week?
yeah. I am. I am. I'm sorry, Oklahoma fans. I think the attention, if this is what happens, we're going to hear a whole lot about Brent Venables. You gonna be here much longer, player? I think that seat gonna get real hot in Norman. Not only like you can lose, but if you get blown out by Tennessee, that's gonna ring the alarm. People already came into the season like almost playoffs or bust kind of mentality. Oklahoma's team built up in the preseason, Kory, with high expectations. Then we got a taste of how good this team really, can be with how they were performing earlier in the season. And then if you go to Tennessee and get beat down, and then you already lost to Texas, this rendition of Texas, there's gonna be some real mad Oklahoma fans, and we gonna mess around And just like Hugh Freeze is on the hot seat in the league, Brent Venables' hot seat is going to get turned up 100 degrees. And there's going to be some people calling for him. He's going to have to close out this season strong, or else I don't know if Brent Venables makes it out as returns as Oklahoma's head coach next year. But especially if the game plays out the way I think it will. So that's where I'm going. I'm going Tennessee by blowout.
Yeah, yeah. Look, with all of the coaching vacancies and everything, Chris, Oklahoma, you lose to Tennessee. You're gonna hear it. Like, look, you already been hearing it after losing at the state fair, and
Then you lose to Ole Miss.
Then you lose to Ole Miss
at home.
Yeah, like Red River at home against Ole Miss. You lose this game, yeah, it's going to get rough out there. And man, for Brent Venables going into this season, a lot of people had high hopes. They were talking about, hey, if everything falls into place for Oklahoma to be successful, be a successful football team this season, it was going to go by their quarterback, John Mateer, who for the first like 4 to 5 weeks of the season was looking like money, was looking like the sure favorite to win the Heisman. Had hand surgery. I think he came back too quick. I think he shouldn't have came back. I think they should have put their bets on Michael Hawkins Jr., Chris, and say, let's ride. And we'll wait till you come back when you're healthy enough to try to finish this season out in the way that we want to. That's what should have happened. That's not what happened. And every week, Chris, Oklahoma has looked worse and worse offensively than ever before. And it's not helped their defense at all. The defense starts to get gassed now. They try. They play hard, but they're not finishing. And you're really doing your team a disservice once you get in that lane. So yeah, it's definitely crunch time now. If you're an OU fan and if you're Brent Venables, Chris, because yeah, they're in a precarious situation right now.
Yeah, definitely. So this is a big week for both universities. Tennessee, they had high hopes this season. Hey, we looked, especially with how the team started the season. You lost to Bama. You gave one up to Georgia at home. That loss really could mess around and come back to bite Tennessee, especially if this team loses this one. If Oklahoma does find a way to win this one, ooh, they're going to be kicking themselves about this game, or about that Georgia game. I think Tennessee should win this one. It doesn't get real spicy, I feel like, for Tennessee until Vandy. that game, boy. If Vanderbilt is the reason Tennessee does not make the playoffs, boy, can you imagine that, Kory? If Vanderbilt's the reason Tennessee doesn't make the playoffs, them people in orange out there in Knoxville will be sick. Oh my goodness.
And I'm gonna walk next to them and I'm gonna be sick for them and say, yeah, we should have beat you.
Oh.
Vols fans just gonna be like, now's not the time. You take that cowbell away from me.
That does honestly even things up. You gave up one against Georgia, but you shouldn't have left Sark go with the win. State had that game in control, but yeah. Man, this is gonna be a fun weekend. However this plays out will have huge implications for both programs going forward the rest of the season. Whether it's the Tennessee's playoff implications and Oklahoma keeping playoff hopes alive, but in this college football, Oklahoma loses this one, I just don't see the season playing out well for them going forward. And I see the pressure cooker on high for Venables, especially if they get embarrassed. That's the real thing. It's one thing to lose, but if you go out here and get embarrassed, they're gonna be ready to have some meetings.
Yeah, look hot. Look, that hot seat is gonna definitely start heating up. You're gonna feel it steaming up. Preventable. So look, you're on the clock right now. I think
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
We not rooting against you. We
Right.
just saying what it's gonna be if it plays out the way we think it can and will.
Yeah. So yeah, man. I definitely get what you're saying, Chris. It's gonna be an interesting ball game for sure. Um, yeah, I can't wait for this one because it's a lot riding on this game.
And then I mean they could have lost to Auburn. This is Oklahoma's had quite an interesting season. And what's the remaining schedule for the Sooners, Kory? If you don't mind pulling that up real quick.
Yeah. So let me pull up Oklahoma's schedule. Let's see. So
Because we know they got the battle against LSU at the end of the season.
yes, they do. Yes, they do. You have Tennessee this week in Knoxville. Um, after that, I think you have a bye week before you have to go to Tuscaloosa. Good luck with that. Good luck, because man, I I'm gonna say this, Chris. If they can't make it out of Rocky Top with a victory, man, they're staring another loss in the face in Tuscaloosa in 2 weeks. That
Mm-hmm.
that's a
Mm-hmm.
hard pill to swallow if you're an OU fan.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then the
Yeah.
following week you have to play Missouri, and then yeah, you wrap up the season, the regular season against LSU. So I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's you got to win this one. That's all. That's all we can tell you. You got to win this one, Brent.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. So yeah, this is gonna be an interesting game, Chris. I can't wait for us to talk about it on our live Sunday episode. It should be a fun one. Scores in this ball game, because we didn't
Yeah.
mention it.
I think I said 40, 45, 10.
45-10. Okay, okay. I'll go ahead and say I'll say 42-17 Tennessee wins. We'll see.
Boy, that happens. Ooh.
How did we get here, Chris?
Oh man. Oh man. I'm gonna be finding some Oklahoma podcasts, some Oklahoma talk radio to tune into, out there in Norman to get a read on the state, because it's them people gonna be ready to crash out if they get beat like that.
Oh man, they gonna be like,
Ain't no ready. They gonna crash out
yeah,
if they get beat like that.
yeah. They're like, look, step aside, Louisiana governor. Now the Oklahoma governor got something to say.
Oh man.
Oh man, we'll see what happens, Chris. Yeah, look, that's why they say, the games must be played on the field,
Mm-hmm.
and not on Twitter or anything. So
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, man, we will see. But anything else you want to add to this game before we move on to our last premier game of the week?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, final premier game, folks, before we head into Bolton's bets and get you out of here today. As always, we appreciate you guys listening in. Feel free to hit that like button. Let us know in the comment section what your favorite game for Week 10 will be. So, final one, Chris. Cincinnati travels to Utah. The line right now has Utah as a 10.5 point favorite. Over under is at 54.5. So A battle of two Big 12 teams, ranked Big 12 teams that are trying to break through, Chris.
Hmm.
This game, I think, is going to be a very interesting ball game. I can't wait to watch this one and for us to break this one down. I'm liking what I've been seeing from Cincinnati ever since I paid attention to them against that Iowa State game that they
Hmm.
won. This team has some dogs, so it's going to be interesting to see how they can stop Dampier and company for Utah in this one. But I want to get your take. What are your thoughts about this game this weekend? This is a big time game in the Big 12 conference.
Yeah, you mentioned Dan Pierre, who's a good quarterback. You know, he's athletic guy, can make plays with his legs for sure. This is no slight to Utah. I feel like this team's a little bit of a team of some front runners. Like I just don't know if this team is built to come back, and that's what's a little worrying about them. When this team gets ahead of you, good luck. If Utah's rolling, you ain't about to get back in the game. This team is too well coached to let a team come back in the game when they put the pause on you. They just go continue to put the pause on you. And I think that's what kind of is the difference in this game for me is the two coaching staffs. Satterfield has coached much better this season. He's definitely improved. Him and his staff have made improvements, have done a good job with this Cincinnati team. Um, I'm just not the biggest fan of Satterfield. And if Cincinnati comes out here and wins this game, I will give he and his staff even more flowers. I'm gonna give them flowers now for the way this team's been playing because they have bounced back from a tough loss to start the season, but Cincinnati is a good team. Um, I just trust Utah more, and I'm gonna say Utah gets the victory in this one, 35-20. I think Utah will control the game, running the ball. I can see Dampier putting up 80 yards on the ground, 80, 90 yards. I can see his legs being a real factor in this one. Um, and if that is the case, Utah should cruise victory if they're controlling the ball on the ground. If this team has three and outs, because Cincinnati does have a stingy defense, Kory. If Cincinnati can force them off the field, they can definitely make this interesting and find a way to win this one. I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case, but we do have to talk about everything, all the ins and outs, and what can happen in the pathway for Cincinnati to win. Utah's a team that their offense isn't always there isn't the calling card for this team. They can struggle offensively sometimes. And if you mess around and have Utah's defense on the field all game, I don't care how tough Utah's defense is. Any defense will break down if they're on the field more than they anticipate being so. So I'm gonna say Cincinnati has a chance for sure. I'm gonna side with the Utes, but it's Big 12 football, Kory. Hey, we already know how that goes. Anything can happen.
Indeed, indeed. Look, that's like I said earlier. That's the reason why you play the games um, each and every week. So, yeah, this is a definitely interesting ball game, Chris. I can't wait to see who comes out of this game on top. I will say this, we've been talking about Devin Dampier a little bit this season. Really good quarterback. He isn't um, always accurate. 100% of the time. But he does find ways to create a consistent enough spark for Utah to be where they're at right now. That's the
Mm-hmm.
reason why they're fighting. to stay in this Big 12 hunt right now. And, so far, it is Kyle Whittingham. He finds ways to get the most out of these guys at Utah. That's just what he does, Chris. So
Mm-hmm.
shout out to him. Um, this is still going to be a big test because Brendan Sorsby for Cincinnati has been playing some really good football at the quarterback position. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be a battle between both Cincinnati and Utah. But it still may be a low scoring game. Look, I didn't even realize Jack Golday for Cincinnati. This man's averaging 3.5 sacks, 67 tackles for the season, Chris. And I also saw that he pretty much averages 9 tackles per game. It's insane. The
Yeah.
season's almost over. This man pretty much is everywhere. Leads the Big 12, they say. Yeah. Good luck trying to stop a guy like Jack Golday because Utah, they're gonna have to have all hands on deck to try to stop this man
Oh,
because he's everywhere on the field.
he's gonna get chipped, double teamed. Oh yeah, they gonna make sure he's accounted for on defense, Kory.
Yeah, yeah. So, having that kind of a talent out there for Cincinnati on the defensive side of the ball is going to pose challenges for Devin Dampier of getting the ball out, of them running the football. They're just gonna have to be clicking on all cylinders. So, good thing that this game is at home. Maybe get the 12th man behind them, get the crowd behind them, to squeeze out this ball game with a W. So. If I had to put a score on it, Chris, I'm going to say Utah wins. I'll say they win 27-24. Late game field goal wins in the ball game with the help of Devin Dampier. Finds a way to get the ball downfield the last minutes of the game. And they come out of the game with the W. So it's not gonna be easy. I think Cincinnati is a really good football team. They're no joke, folks. If you watch Cincinnati, they're tough. They're tough. They're physical. They're feisty. All of the above.
For real, yeah.
So yeah. It will test Utah.
Man, they got good receivers too. They have some playmakers on the outside at receiver.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I think Cyrus Allen has 34 receptions with 9 touchdowns this season. So he's been playing some really good football. So, this is going to be a battle of two really good Big 12 teams duking it out. Somebody has to win, somebody has to lose, but I think Utah will squeeze out of this game with the W in the end.
Okay, I'm with you.
So, yeah, man. Interesting ball game indeed, but we'll see what happens on Saturday. Anything else, Chris, you want to add to this game before we move on to Bolton's bets?
All right. We can keep it rolling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, that's it for all of the premier games, Chris. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with those games. Let's move on over now to Bolton's bets in Week 10 of the college football season. Got a couple of bangers out there. I'll let you start off with this one, Chris. Arizona travels to Colorado. The line right now has Arizona as a 3.5-point favorite. Over under is at 52.5. I'll let you go ahead, good sir. Let us know what your thoughts are about this game.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Colorado, it's been a tough season. It's a rebuilding year for the Buffs. I think Arizona's a better team. Point blank, period. I think they have proven against the competition that they've played that they can hang with pretty much everybody in the conference. They're right there in it against a really good Houston team. They can put points on the board. Colorado's struggled, and I think this team is down, coming off a beat down. They really got chin checked by Utah. They got embarrassed, got their skirt lifted, and I think it's one of those kind of L's that it turns in one loss into two. And I think Arizona will come in ready to play some good football. I like what they do on offense more than what Colorado does. I'm not a fan of the scheme, the system that Colorado runs. I feel like this offense has been carried by the talent that they have had over the last couple of years. And I think they're kind of being exposed now. And I don't see things getting any better this week. I think Arizona puts the pause on Colorado. And I think the Wildcats, get a double-digit victory, win by about 17 points.
Yeah, after seeing what happened last week in that Utah game, you really did see like Colorado just really get chin checked, like you said, and man, they definitely got exposed. It has not been a great season for Coach Prime and the Buffaloes this season.
He has his own things going on. His health issues. He's been in and out. You know
right.
What I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's tough, man. Years like this really test yourself as a head coach, test your team as players. It tests a lot. And yeah, I know that team and that fan base has been going through it. This is not the season that they envisioned, and yeah, it's definitely rough times down there in Bolton right now.
Yeah, agreed.
So yeah, man. But yeah, we will see. But yeah, I like your pick on Arizona right now. It's not a bad team, a team that has their growing pains, but a team that does fight a lot. I saw it earlier this season against BYU. So nothing in my mind would tell me otherwise that this team stopped fighting. I think this team still has a little bit of that dog in them.
Right. Agreed.
So yeah, man. So yeah. Moving along, Chris. Got another one here. Virginia taking on Cal this weekend. The line has Virginia as a 5.5-point favorite. Over under is at 52.5. So let us know why you got Cal in this one, Chris.
Yeah. We hinted at it earlier in the show. There's gonna be some upsets this weekend. Now I'm here to guarantee you that Cal will upset Virginia. But I feel like, Kory, this is a prime spot to take Cal. Virginia going literally across the country to Cal. It's a home game for the Golden Bears. So Virginia has to go all the way to Berkeley. And Virginia has had its struggles. Virginia, I feel like they've been sipping their Kool-Aid a little bit, Kory. You barely escape against a not so good North Carolina team. Barely finding ways to win games. It hasn't been pretty. Now you got to factor in going all the way to California to go up against a Cal team that does have playmakers. Cal can get in the rhythm offensively and really put some points on the board. And I just haven't seen the same Virginia team that we see now that Florida State win was a little bit of funny money. Florida State ain't everything they were hyped up to be. That win doesn't look so good now. And I just feel like Cal is in a prime position to really put pressure on a Virginia team that has been lacking offensively and can come into this game sleepy. Literally, like jet lagged. and Cal can mess around and put the pressure on them. And this is a Virginia team that, honestly, Kory, is not built for comebacks. They want to run the ball. They are all about ball control, smash smash mouth football, punch you in the face, run it down your throat. Um, and you mess around and put them in a position where they got to come back from a couple possessions. If Cal can do so, we might have something on our hands. Upset brewing for sure, because Virginia has a good quarterback, but he's prone to making mistakes as well. He's trying to make plays, and so I'm curious to see how this plays out. But I have a feeling that at least Cal will make this interesting, and the way Virginia plays will make this interesting, and it should be a one possession game at the very least. But I think there's a lot of potential for Cal to get the upset.
Yeah. I look. I'm not counting out Sagapula Tele at all. I think I think he's been playing some really good football this season. Yeah, they had that heartbreaking overtime loss against Virginia Tech. What was like a week or so ago, and that it happens for the most part, and some people they didn't expect Cal to be where they are at right now. This is a very competitive Cal football team. So
they're like Mississippi State.
They are. They are. So they win. That's the big thing about them. So I definitely see where you're coming from. I like what Sagapula Tele offers offensively for this team. Like they have some pretty good receivers as well, and they play decent defense at times too. So, and I also do like Kendra Raphael as well at running back. With 135 carries and 8 touchdowns, which just shows how much of a bell cow he is for the Bears.
And Kory, we saw this movie last season around the same time of the year, where another team that was having a great year and right there at top of the ACC came into town. Miami had to come back against Cal.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
That was a crazy game.
Yeah.
I think there's potential for the same kind of game to play out in this.
Yeah. So that's what makes this game interesting. I can't wait to watch this one. Like when is this game?
If I'm not mistaken, is it late?
So it's not. It's actually at 2:45 on ESPN2. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm curious to see how Virginia, if they're not tired, I wonder how they're going to come out and play in this one. It's going to be like a little bit of an earlier start than probably what they're used to when it comes when you factor in the time,
right?
How they're going to have to get ready, So yeah, we'll see, but it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, indeed it will be. So yeah, I can't wait for us to talk about this game because who knows? It could be a shocker. Virginia could go down. So we'll see. And lastly, Chris, we'll go ahead and talk about your final pick for Week 10. You got Indiana taking on Maryland. The line has Indiana as a 21.5 point favorite. Over under is at 50.5. Chris, you taking the over in this game.
Yes.
Let people know why.
Just to keep it frank with you, Indiana is a different kind of team offensively. Indiana can cover this over just by themselves, let alone, not even including Maryland. But I also think that Maryland has a young quarterback, and this Maryland offense has potential to put some points on the board, give you about 17, 24 points. And I know what Mendoza and company in Indiana are going to do against this Maryland defense. They put in a minimum 35 on the Terrapins. Indiana's going to put buckets They gonna put up buckets. They gonna put up points. Scoreboard guy. He gonna have to be on the P's and Q's. He gonna be do adding six, do adding. Then they go that extra point. He gonna be adding points all game long in this one. I think Indiana's gonna put on a show. I think Maryland has sneaky potential to kind of hang with Indiana early on. But I know with Coach C and company, that offense will get going, and Mendoza probably end up with 5 touchdown passes. Um, Indiana will mess around and win this game 52-10, and that'll hit.
Yeah, as right now, until Indiana shows me otherwise that they can't score over, I'd say at least 20, 21, or even I'll say over 28 points. Man, I think every week this is what we're gonna see. This team can score at will, and yeah, I'm definitely with you on that one, part. They're just really good right now. What can you say?
Yeah, no, this team, they are firing on all cylinders, and got to tip your cap, Coach C. And like I say, I think there's sneaky potential for Maryland to put up points too.
Yeah,
I like what Maryland has done this season. It's a team on the rise, taking its lumps with a young quarterback, but the Terrapins, they keep him around and don't let NIL get in the way of everything, and another team scoop him up. They got a guy. They have their guy at QB, and Maryland can hang with a lot of people in the Big Ten. So, and yeah, it's different. But we know how these games go through, Kory. You're bound to get a couple garbage points on the board, even if it's a blowout late. You might get you a touchdown or two late, and that's all we need to help this over, hit even more.
absolutely. Yeah, man. I get what you mean, man. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I do think you're spot on with Maryland, Malik Washington. Folks, if you haven't watched Malik Washington, I watched him a little bit earlier in the season as they were taking on I think Northern Illinois. They won that game. Northern Illinois is always scrappy with everyone, but I sensed something with Malik that was, just a star on the rise. If he stays at Maryland, and if they build something with Maryland, I think this can be a dangerous football team in the Big Ten in the future. Possibly
Washington's going to. I think he's going to be a Sunday player. I see him being drafted in the future.
Yeah. Right now he's 160 passes completed for 268 thrown, 11 touchdowns and 3 interceptions right now. So just a remarkable talent, and we'll definitely see what happens with him going forward in his collegiate career. But when a little bit I've seen of him, I think he's definitely a great talent.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, man. But those are all of your Bolton's bets for Week 10 of the college football season, Chris. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens this weekend. Just a bevy of games. I know me and you are gonna be locked in with Mississippi State and Arkansas. Two teams. One trying to fight for a SEC win, another one just trying to finish the season out and finding a coach.
Hey, honestly, 2 coaches coaching for the future of their coaching careers at the schools. Honestly, if Levy doesn't win this game, man, people are going to be really down on Mississippi State in that fan base. And that does not bode well for Coach Levy, someone that needs that fan support to continue to build this thing up. He needs to win this one. And then you turn around and look on the other side of the coin, Kory, for Arkansas. Bobby Petrino, he want that old thing back. I need this job, baby. I ain't trying to be interim. I'm trying to be the full shebang. So he needs this win too to get them people out there in Arkansas, to get Jerry Jones and company, them boosters, to go ahead and give him a real contract and make him the head coach.
Nice. What Cameron said years ago, get the boosters boosting. Because that's what's gonna be happening in Fayetteville. Oh man, so yeah, man. Look, it's gonna be interesting to see this game. Mississippi State desperately needs a SEC win at some point. So
then you got the you fired bowl too, Kentucky and Auburn.
I knew you were gonna name drop that one. I was listening to Josh Pate earlier during my bike ride, and Cole Kublik was talking about that he was gonna be at that game. Of course, him being an Auburn alum, play offensive tackle for the Tigers. I know he's gonna be watching that game, just being like, it's just two bad teams. Try to see who's less worse, I guess. Who knows?
Basically.
So yeah, that's definitely going to be something. South Carolina at Ole Miss. You know, can South Carolina do it? I don't think so, but who knows? We've seen crazier stuff happen in college football, Chris. And look, this is, you know, Halloween weekend practically. So
it can get real spooky.
It can get real spooky out there. So who knows? Who knows what might happen? So yeah, man. It's gonna be an interesting weekend for sure. But yeah, we'll definitely tap in. Oh yeah, Miami traveling to SMU.
Yeah, it's a fun one too. That's a fun one.
It is. So bevy of games this weekend. We have no excuses, Chris. We get spoiled each and every week in college football. So,
of course.
I'm not gonna complain with all these great games.
Yes, sir.
So yes, sir. Well, another great episode, Chris. Always great to chop it up with you, sir. Got a couple outros before we head out of here. Let the good folks know where they can find you on social media.
Holla at your boy on X, or as I like to call it, Twitter, Chris_Bolton_12, and on Instagram at Chris.Bolton_. Tap in with me.
Nice. Yeah, folks, you can find me on X at Listen to KSW. I'm on there talking college football, professional wrestling, all of that great stuff. So yeah, definitely follow me on there. And yeah, feel free to like, comment, subscribe to this video, to all of our social media accounts. We appreciate that. You know, like I said earlier, let us know what's your favorite game of this week in week 10 of the college football season. And yeah, we'll definitely be tapping in with y'all on our live Sunday episode of the Breakdown Sportscast. So be sure to be tuned in to that. We'll go over all the great games that happen over the weekend. So yeah. But other than that, guys, that's it for us. Like I said, we'll be back on Sunday with our live episode. So be sure to tap in with us then. But for Kory Willis and Chris Bolton, you are listening to the Breakdown Sportscast. We'll chat with y'all later. Peace.
Peace.